Hello, everybody. Tyrone the Guy 3 here. Oh boy. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. This game. So, normally when a Dragon Ball game is about to come out, you hear something about it from me on my channel. I'll do some type of predictions like I did for the prediction roster for Dragon Ball Fighters, or just, some speculation. I'll talk about Xenoverse. I've even talked about Ultimate Tenkaichi way back in the day. So, why aren't I talking about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot? Well, I brought a friend along with me in order to help me discuss about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, because I know it's a long time coming and I have not said a thing about this game, and I think now's a better time than any to let all of my thoughts just sort of come out. So, introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, what's up, guys? It's the Insane Game Freaky here. I know you guys should be surprised that I'm here, but you shouldn't, because I'm here all the time.
Yay! Yeah, I'm saying, Terrell's been on my channel a lot. You guys know him.
You have a chair with my name on it. That's how many times I've been here.
Yeah, pretty much. At this point, you got a key to just get into the channel. At this point,
exactly.
Just make sure you wipe your feet. Yeah, boy, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the game coming out for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, PC. Is it also coming out for Switch or not?
Nah.
No, I'm actually surprised. Switch has been having this bad habit of just going, yeah, we'll put it on our shit too.
Well, Bandai's weird because they've been weirdly inconsistent about certain games. Like, for example, Power Warriors 4 was also confirmed, I want to say, a few months ago. But that is getting a Switch port, and like the new Fairy Tail game is getting a Switch port, but the Dragon Ball Kakarot game isn't getting a Switch port.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So first of all, I hate the title. I'm gonna put that out there right now. I think it's the dumbest title for a Dragon Ball game.
Did you see the box cover for it?
I was about to get into that. I was gonna say the title is just as bad, if not not as bad. The title is bad, but the cover is worse. The cover is debatably the worst Dragon Ball Z video game cover art I've ever seen in my life. It almost feels like, I think I made this on Photoshop way back in like high school. Like, that's how bad this is to me. It's really bad. Like, it looks like they just put a drop shadow on Goku flying the Nimbus, and then they motion blurred the drop shadow. And I hate it.
This sounds like some deep-rooted hatred, buddy.
Well, it's not I don't want it to be deep-rooted hatred. It's just the problem with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot to me is that it feels like every Dragon Ball game I've ever played generically placed into one game.
You mean the game itself, or you mean like just the cover?
The presentation.
Oh, just
like,
the cover.
The way it's presented right now. Yeah. So, first off, I want to get your opinions first, just because I don't think you're going to be as harsh on it as I am. So Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, based on all the information we've gotten so far, what do you think about it as of now, based on what we got?
This is a weird situation because realistically, Bandai has burnt me so many times on anime games, and my level of indifference towards this game is absolutely fucking insane. I remember this game was announced.
So our opinions aren't that different.
So okay, people need to understand where I'm coming from. Dragon Ball hasn't had a good game since. I'm trying to think how far back.
Technically, Budokai 3. I like to say technically.
Yeah, Budokai 3, but some people like the Raging Blast series.
I like the Raging Blast series.
And people like the Xenoverse series. I
have a love-hate with the Xenoverse series.
I don't find either of those series incredibly interesting, and I don't think they haven't gotten Dragon Ball right since the Tenkaichi days. So it's kind of like, I get it. You have those issues, and then you also have the Jump Force fucking debacle.
Oh.
Then, depending on what fan of anime you are, for example, you had a Kill la Kill game, ended up being pretty fucking mediocre and meandering.
Yeah, and then I think a One Punch is coming out too, right?
One Punch, which I like the concept of the fights where, like, if you have Saitama on your team, literally the whole fight is last until Saitama gets there, and then you automatically win the fight. It's funny in concept. But once again, like, how fun of a fighting game is it? Also, because they've had this weird hard-on for battle arenas. Like, One Piece Burning Blood was another one of those fucking games where it's like, oh, here's another anime fighting game. Oh, it's a battle arena fighting game. And you're like...
You fight in, like, this circle where your character's back is placed and then like to an angle you see your opponent.
Well, that and the fighting is so fucking slow, and so they've done this with that game. Black Clover had a game that did not do well or grab that much media attention. My Hero had one Justice, which was a fucking another one.
Oh, the game came out.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's
I completely forgot its existence.
Yeah, you know why? Because it came out, and then like after the first week, people didn't acknowledge its existence.
Nobody
anymore.
talked about it.
It's another one of those fucking games where you're just like, I don't want to.
I feel like My Hero would be a better RPG style game.
But the point I'm getting to is that Bandai, for a lot of this generation, has gone out of its way. Well, I won't say go out of its way, but it has done a pretty good job of making me very distrustworthy of anything they fucking do. Like, oh look, but that Fairy Tail game looks good. No, they can capture the magic of these anime characters like nobody's business. They just can't make good games with these fuckers. It's insane.
Yeah, I remember Burst Limit visually was like,
oh god, I forgot about Burst Limit.
Yeah, Burst Limit is like visually, to this day I still think that's the case. Burst Limit is beautiful. Here's the big problem though. Here's one of the problems, especially with Dragon Ball. Oh god. So after seeing the first few cutscenes and trailers and stuff, and then them showing off more, they showed the first cutscene they showed was the Frieza stuff. And now I rolled my eyes because I was like, oh, okay, the Frieza saga. Then I saw Gohan doing the clash with Cell, and then again I rolled my eyes. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, so maybe this game will go up to Cell and end like a lot of Dragon Ball games have for years. And then I saw the Boo stuff with Vegeta, and I'm like, okay, so they're covering all three of the, the generic Frieza Cell Boo situation. But then it hit me at this point. No matter where it goes, we've seen all of this already. I don't know how many times we've done this formula where we tackle Dragon Ball as, oh, you fight Raditz first, then you gotta train for the Saiyans and fight the Saiyans. Then you gotta fight Frieza on Planet Namek. Then you gotta fight Cell. Then you gotta fight Boo. We've done this way too many times. Like, way too many. At least Xenoverse had the decency to go, yeah, we're doing this, but we're gonna disrupt the timeline a little bit so your character is a bit more involved in the story.
Oh hell, that's why they still support Xenoverse. It's insane.
Right.
People don't even realize that. They fucking, I think when
Xenoverse had DLC recently. That's how.
Yeah, like Xenoverse, what was it? I think when the Switch port came out, and then they for some reason said we're gonna keep supporting Xenoverse, but we are making a new game, and we were like, really? Why Xenoverse? Why did Xenoverse get that treatment? Well, it's because Xenoverse technically isn't a bad idea for a game. It doesn't have the best execution, but people still get a kick out of it because it is something different.
It's the closest we're ever going to get to an actual Dragon Ball MMO. And that's why.
So, when I see footage of...
Well, at least a successful one, because there is one made in China, but whatever.
So, when I see footage from Dragon Ball Kakarot, you can tell the main thing they're really going for is, guys, look, this is like a fully realized Dragon Ball world with flying and open world elements and all that other shit. And I'm kind of like, I get it. But here's the problem. For one, Dragon Ball's world wasn't interesting. Well, let me rephrase that. Z's world wasn't interesting. Dragon Ball world, you can make an argument, was an interesting world. And some would say, well, it's the same world, so what difference would it make? I guess the problem is like, Dragon Ball is not a good enough series to justify having this level of, not even detail, what's the word I'm looking for? This level of like, open,
depth?
This level of depth, where it would make sense to make this an open world game. Because, let's be real, with all the variations they've done with Dragon Ball and fighting mechanics, which the fighting mechanics in this game don't look that different than what we're used to.
In Xenoverse.
Yeah, it literally
just like Xenoverse.
It's literally like Xenoverse. Like, and then when you think about even Rage and Blast had similar systems. Like,
Rage and Blast at least did better. They focused a little bit more on their gameplay. Xenoverse is mostly like you do your light attacks, your heavy attacks, your grabs, and then your 4 designated super moves.
And see, that's my thing. Like, when you look at the fighting mechanics, it's not that much different than what we're used to seeing. Like, so it really just seems like, hey guys, we're just gonna give you new animated cutscenes of the same anime fights you've seen with a way more open world, and oh, by the way, it looks pretty. And I'm like, I get it, but like, that's not enough. Like, Dragon Ball, unfortunately, has gotten to the point now where the games are so over. Because think about it, of all the anime series that exist, Dragon Ball is the one who gets the most consistent games on every fucking generation. Like, think about it, when was the last Naruto game you played?
Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4.
And that's been out for how long? We've had the point I'm making is that we've had gaps between a lot of these other games.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, it's like you go maybe a few years and then you're gonna see another one. Maybe 1 or 2 years. That's the most. Because Xenoverse, I mean, just think about this generation, the PlayStation 4 generation. You had the Xenoverse, you had Fighters, you had this game, and then if you included games where they were in, you could also include things like Jump Force and shit. It's like, I have, and this generation's only been since 2013, I think. So in 6 years, we've gotten at least 3 to 4 games.
Yeah, we've gotten, okay, are we talking just the PlayStation 4 era?
Yeah, I'm talking just
PlayStation 4, Xbox. Okay, so in the PlayStation 4, Xbox One era, yeah, we've gotten Xenoverse, technically Xenoverse 1 was on those too, I believe. Yeah. So we got Xenoverse 1, Xenoverse 2, we've got Fighters, then we've got, what else? Technically on the,
like I said, you could conclude.
Oh, yeah, on the 3DS we had Ultimate Budokai. Yeah, we got,
Budokai?
No, on the 3DS they had,
oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Ultimate Budoten. Yeah, Ultimate Budoten.
The one that people got mad at because for some reason the American version was censored. Like they took away like Trunks' sword and shit for some reason.
Yeah. And then and then also we got and then we're getting Dragon Ball Z Kakarot soon. So yeah, we got quite a bit of games on there for just Dragon Ball. Yeah, and I think one of the things is because I'm gonna say this now because I love Dragon Ball Z's anime. Like I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball Z. Hence why I did all the videos and content on it. But I will agree with you there. The world of Dragon Ball Z, at least, doesn't really come into the forefront because the feats that Dragon Ball Z does, unfortunately, make the world seem so insignificant. Vegeta is ready to blow up the planet within a moment's notice the minute he shows up to fight Goku. If the planet can be destroyed that easily, and you don't feel for it after a while, you start to get numb about it once Frieza shows up because he's just blowing up planets like nothing. So, yeah, the world of Dragon Ball doesn't feel like it deserves a whole open world RPG. Just simply because, like, I'm not against the idea of having an RPG, even though they've done this already. I am against the idea of, hey, look how big this world is. It doesn't need to be that big because really the only important places are like what? West City, Capsule Corp, South City, where Orange Star High School is, where Gohan goes to school, Planet Namek, the Lookout, and then Mount Pals, and that's about it. That's it. That's all you got. And maybe the Kai's planet, which is literally just a giant battleground.
And the problem is most of these things have been shown like in other games.
Yeah.
Most of these
I was immediately going to point to Legacy of Goku's 1, 2, and Buu's Fury.
Yeah, and so it's like it turns into a situation where it's like it doesn't really mean much. Like there's nothing this game can literally show me that will get me excited. Unless the only thing you could have showed me to make this game exciting is that the battle mechanics are like something different or more interesting. Like,
which is, you want to know why that's really going to be really stupidly hard to do now? Fighters. Fighters is the most successful Dragon Ball Z fighting game, period.
Well, to be fair, say that in like recent memory. It's not like just in general, though.
I mean, well, you're comparing at this point I'm comparing a head-to-head fighter with a open world fighter, but I'm saying at the same time, like the characters feel so right in fighters. Like everybody feels different. Nobody feels like they're just generically punching and throwing energy blasts. Everybody has their own mechanics. It's gonna be really hard to recover from that. Like fighters set a standard really high.
And Fighters has his own bag of problems.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's still a good game. You can't ignore that.
We can try, goddammit.
Damn. It just here's one thing. I do feel like there's some things I find kind of interesting, and that's only because me as a big nerd of this series, I am a little giddy to see. I saw that they're gonna do Gohan's baseball stuff. I like Gohan as a teenager just hanging out with the other high schoolers. I don't know why. I do. It's a side of Gohan we don't get to really see.
Well, they're even adding some of like the early fights. Like I forget the dude Vegeta fights early on Namek, the one that like
Qui.
Is that the one where he like breaks his scouter and powers up and kills him?
Yeah.
They have scenes with him in it, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool because it's like really niche Dragon Ball Z shit that like no one ever shows in the main games because of how unimportant it is.
They normally just skip to Dodoria.
So I can respect that aspect of it. At the same time, it's kind of like it's cool because it's niche, but it's not really. But it doesn't make the game like it's gonna be one of those things where I'm like, I'm gonna get through the Saiyan saga and get to Frieza and be like, oh, here we go. And as soon as I get to Saiyan, I'm like, damn it, this is gonna be a long day, isn't it? Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. I always feel like making an RPG out of Dragon Ball, especially making one centered around Goku, is very awkward too, because I'm gonna be honest, Goku's not that present from a lot of Dragon Ball Z. If you want to really break it down, he's absent from most of the Saiyan saga until he's done training with King Kai. He's absent on planet Namek until he's done training on his ship to arrive to fight Raccoon, and then he's absent again until they fight Frieza, and then he's absent again because of the heart virus on Earth, and then he's absent again.
It never stops.
And he's absent again until his heart virus is cured, only so that he can get killed in one fight with Cell, and then after that he's absent until Buu Saga.
He's training.
So Goku in Dragon Ball Z, I love Goku as a character, but he seems more like a force of nature than a character in Z. Like, really, it's when he shows up when things start to get more interesting. But he's absent for so long. How do you exactly make an RPG out of it?
Well, you don't. You kind of finagle one.
I mean, Legacy of Goku tried, and here's what they did. Legacy of Goku follows Goku to a T. Like, when they make it very unconventional sometimes, where like instead of him taking the Nimbus to go straight to the Saiyans to fight Vegeta and Nappa, you'd walk the way. So you're doing side quests and stupid shit on the side. It's like, mind you, Gohan, Krillin, and Piccolo are dying right now during all of this. And then on Namek, when he arrives on his ship, you're doing more side quests. So you're just pretty much traveling the world. But even then, the world was more or less linear. Like, you would go to different places and do different things. But essentially, the world in itself wasn't that huge because, first of all, it was a Game Boy Advance game. Second of all, it didn't need to be. It only added what it needed to. And Legacy of Goku 2 did a lot better with it, though.
Well, here's my question then. Do you think we even need another... Do you think we need another Dragon Ball game, like, anytime soon?
I feel like Fighters kind of did the job it needed to where we could rest from Dragon Ball for a while. I think the only pure reason why this game exists is because, I feel like Fighters, while it's a good game, it does have its fighting game problems. Fighting game problems usually means when you're playing online and you really want to just have a good time, but you're not like an expert at the game.
Right.
At this point, there's so many good people in Fighters, like so many good players in Fighters, that if you want to play online and have a general good time, then you better be able to practice for long amounts of time. And kids aren't going to want to do that. A lot of young people aren't going to want to do that. And some casuals don't want to do that. They probably just want to play a storyline. They want to, play a game and experience a game. And I'm guessing you won't need much of online to play Dragon Ball Z Kakarot because it's focused on its RPG elements. Fighters, unfortunately, you can only get so much joy out of playing online for a little while before someone from Japan comes in and kicks the shit out of you.
The irony is, I probably would say you're probably more positive on the reason why they still make. They're still making it.
Well, I feel like Xenoverse 2 is coming to its end too, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons.
The last bit of DLC was like early this year.
Yeah.
So I figured that was done anyway. My thought process was always that Dragon Ball is just the franchise of Bandai. Like, Bandai seems to be the only company that has anime rights. Like, no other...
And when all else fails, they jump to Dragon Ball. I get that.
Well, that because it makes money. I think that's really what it boils down to. It's probably top 3 in terms of popular anime titles, and it always makes money. But what I find stupid about that is you had Naruto and fucking Bleach and One Piece, and of those side games, those side animes that are also popular, I think Naruto's had the most games, and even then Naruto only stuck to like 3 variations. You had the Ultimate Ninja series. You had
Ultimate Ninja Storm.
You had the Storm series. Then you have the Uzumaki Chronicles was like a side thing they did.
Oh yeah, that.
And then you had...
Ironically enough, I feel like Naruto would be more deserving of a game like this.
And then they had, the Battle Revolution games, I think.
Yeah. But I feel like Naruto is actually more deserving of a game like this.
Well, because Naruto has more iconic, areas and locales and cool... Actually, the one game that is still stuck in the 360 that drives me nuts, that I think was a really cool retelling, really cool, an adaptation of the anime... was Rise of a Ninja?
Rise of Ninja. I love that game.
But that
game... I love it because they take stuff that actually happened and up the ante a little bit.
Yeah, but see, I liked it because it gave me this fully realized Leaf Village while also having these different mechanics and shit. But what drove me fucking nuts, what drives me nuts, honestly, is 1, that version of gameplay never came back, and 2, it's stuck on the fucking 360. That game never got a port or anything. My issue is why not do stuff with Naruto? Hell, One Piece is the most popular anime in Japan, and One Piece's game library is literally 3 series.
One Piece definitely deserves a game like this more than Dragon Ball does, actually.
The way I was introduced to One Piece games was you had the Grand Battle series that, by the way...
I like the Grand Battle series.
In America, we only got 2 games. We got Grand Battle, and then we got Grand Battle Adventure, which had stuff from Skypiea in it. Then you got the Unlimited series, which is the Unlimited World. There's 3 of them. There's 2 on the Wii, and then you had Unlimited World Red, which was a 3DS PSP game that got remade for consoles and sucked because of it. And then you got these weird side games I guess the other one would be Pirate Warriors, which I'm okay, cool. Pirate Warriors is cool, but why is the only other fighting game that came out in modern times Burning Blood, which is a slow ass fucking fighter that nobody wants to play? In Bleach, Jesus Christ, I think the last game I remember playing with Bleach was Shattered Blade on the Wii.
I was about to say Shattered Blades was the only one I remember. I know they made one for PlayStation 3, but it's gone. It's in the ether.
Yeah, I don't even. I vaguely remember visions of it, but that's about it.
It sold very little copies. I can't even remember its existence. That's mostly because Bleach. Oh boy, Bleach.
And I'm just yo, you keep defaulting to Dragon Ball so fucking much. You have other famous animes.
Soul Resurrection, that's what the game was called.
There we go. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, I do recognize that name. Even My Hero, the up and coming star, has 1 game. Well, actually, it has 2. It has one on the 3DS, and I think it has one on the consoles.
Yeah.
The 3DS one is a lazy. It's to me, any DS or like handheld port of these games are usually pretty trash, with a few exceptions. And then you have One Justice, which is another slow ass game that doesn't fucking like play well and has terrible character balancing. And I'm sitting there in the back like, why the fuck is it that you can patch Xenoverse 2 to high hell and shit, but you can't do nothing for the rest of these titles? Have you noticed that shit? Like every other game we've mentioned never got DLC or never got like a patch or none of that shit.
Yeah, never even got a never even got a re-release on new consoles.
Yeah, and you're just like, what the fuck? You got a bunch of anime titles you don't do nothing with, but for some reason you feel the need to whore out Dragon Ball every 2 years or so. So now,
and My Hero's especially a shame because I did not. When I saw it, I immediately rolled my eyes. I'm like, oh, one of these games again.
Yeah.
I wanted My Hero to be an RPG. I felt like it was much better to have like a create your own hero situation, and have him attend the school and customize his powers or whatever, and you fight alongside Deku or whatever or something like that. I did not want one of these dumbass isometric 3D kind of 3D.
It's a battle arena fighter.
Yeah, one of those. I did not.
Where I get the round. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, going back to One Piece, I actually like theirs. Yeah, it's Power Stone, but I like the interaction with the world itself. So I feel like they should bring that element back. But like you said, they always drive it back to Dragon Ball, and that makes me sad, even as a Dragon Ball fan. Because it makes it so you don't appreciate Dragon Ball a lot. The reason that this is a big problem, adding on to what you said when they keep going back to Dragon Ball, is because they keep going back to Dragon Ball's freaking story. And while I know the story like the back of my hand, I can debatably say I've played the storyline in video games more than the episodes I've actually seen.
Okay, well, see, the problem is you have a trade-off. Real quick, just to address the One Piece point. The One Piece games I enjoy, like the Unlimited series, I liked originally on the Wii, but it was partially because it was something different. The problem with that series essentially was like, here's essentially an adventure game that occasionally gives you One Piece boss fights in like some weird amalgamated way. Burning Blood is a cool looking game. Like, it looks good and I like the way it looks, and that got DLC. But it's like a game that nobody wanted to play because of how slow everything was. Like, if you've ever seen, it's that break system actually that you see in Kakarot, where you hit an opponent a certain amount of times and eventually you break their guard and shit. That's what it is.
It's like a really big freeze frame. And
that shit, and then they lag out, like they're moving back in slow motion because you broke them, which gives you a chance to do a bunch of damage on them. Like, that's a boring ass mechanic to keep seeing in every other game. I think My Hero does that. I think My Hero's game, One Justice does that. Stop using the break system. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But like the point I'm thinking, like, and that's the other problem. Kakarot, other than the open world and some of the detail you get, like with instant, like when they instant transmission all across the damn area when they're fighting and shit, that shit looks slick as hell. Like, you've improved animations. Cool. Great, but it's still the same basic ass game. Am I going around looking for Dragon Balls? Do I need to go find Gohan if I'm playing Vegeta or I'm playing Namek? Do I need to fucking do some bullshit ass quick time event to beat the power struggle between Gohan and Cell and their final battle? Like, it's the same beats. You just might be adding some more of the niche stuff, like the fishing with Goku's tail.
Right.
That's a nice reference.
I like the fishing. I like the fact that Chi-Chi cooks. I just don't feel that it's deserving of this huge world for it. I don't know. I feel like you can compress a lot of this down and still make a decent RPG, Dragon Ball RPG. And like I said before, this feels like a mixture of a bunch of other games that were Frankensteined together. Like Legacy of Goku all the way up to Boo's Fury. So Legacy of Goku's 1, 2, and Boo's Fury did the whole RPG system, and it did it better in my opinion. Well, at least from what I see now. Freaking Xenoverse is doing the whole battle arena thing. They got that down pat. And every game in existence has done the cutscenes to the story. I know all of it. I could quote it if I wanted to.
No,
just
we'll be here all day if you do that.
right. No, I'm saying just with the cutscenes.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And what I see what they're also trying to do. They're trying to find these like in between spaces of time because Dragon Ball Z does a lot of time skips. Like they, for Christ's sakes, they do a time skip to separate them from the androids arriving. They do a time skip. They got a 7-year time skip, so I'm sure there's tons of stuff that can happen in between that and Buu Saga. Goku and Yardrat. Now, I actually look forward to that. I've always been curious about what he was doing up there. I mean, I know he's learning the instant transmission.
But to me, that's the shit you should have focused on.
Right. I was saying, if you're going to make it based off Goku anyway, then focus on stuff like that. But,
or do what-if scenarios. And I mean real what-if scenarios. Not the shit, to be fair, like when Budokai did it, it wasn't bad. It just, it was too straightforward for its own good. Like
it was more focused on the fighting. The open world was just was icing on the cake.
like the whole what if Radix was good or some shit like that. Like, those are cool concepts, but like, honestly, I even like, as much, I don't like the way Fighters handles its story, but I actually like the concept behind Fighters' story. Like like Android 21 as a basic character, I can kind of get behind. A fucking android who is a scientist and had good intentions, but also has like an evil side to her, who's based off of like Boo. It still comes off as lazy writing, but fuck it, it's a video game. I can put up with a Boo clone bullshit. Like, it was my reasoning for why there were elements in Super. If they were in Fighters, I wouldn't care, but I care because it's in Super. Meaning, I hold Akira Toriyama to a higher fucking standard versus like a game that's just meant to give you like a reason to go from point A to point B. I don't care if she's like a slight Majin Buu ripoff versus fucking, oh look, we're gonna do essentially the android arc again with some minor changes with God complexes, and now Trunks' hair is blue for some fucking reason. Like,
it's just and I agree with that too, because Fighters, the idea of Fighters' story is really good. The concept doesn't go well because of how fighting games handle story. Fighting games have been bad with story, mostly with the exception of like BlazBlue.
Yeah, but BlazBlue, but like those are fighting series where their story is a part of the, like Street Fighter does that, or Tekken.
Yeah.
Like those are a part of those series, whereas Dragon Ball essentially had an anime and manga that was based off of.
Yeah, as a template.
Yeah, and tried to essentially fuse elements of that into the story. That's why you have the stupid thing in the beginning where you, the player, is like a soul that gets inserted into Goku or whichever. That's the other thing. That shit shouldn't have been 3 different separate storylines, but that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing. My point is, like, Bandai, it's a perfect mix of bullshit that makes me not excited about this game. The first thing would be Bandai has had a horrible fucking track record with anime games as of late. Actually, since the beginning of PS4. Mm-hmm. And their PS3 game lineup wasn't that much better. You only had a few good series. Like Ultimate Ninja Storm was a good series until they ran it into the fucking ground, which is what they did. They put out 4 fucking games in the span of like 7 years, and people got burnt. Also, if I include Generations, which was like an in-between game, you had 5 Storm games on the same console. And the motherfuckers were like, I don't understand what people have against the Storm series. It's fucking redundant. They keep putting out the same shit. That was like the only good game that they ran into the ground. Then you had the Pirate Warrior series for One Piece, which was fine, but once again, we're on our 4th one between 2 consoles. Then you had the Raging Blast series. What was the other Dragon Ball one they did? It was Raging Blast. Was it Burst Limit I'm thinking of?
Wait, for that era?
Yeah, for that, like, PS3.
Yeah, that, for the PS3 era, we had Raging Blasters 1 and 2. We had Burst Limit, and I want to say that was probably about it for that era at least. No. We had Ultimate Tenkaichi. Fuck, how can I forget that?
Yeah.
Oh, probably because it was bad.
Yeah,
super bad. Oh, God. And then we had Dragon Ball Connect.
See, that's
Dragon Ball Connect tells itself. You don't need to fucking.
So I used to make the joke that they were only bad in the PS4. No, they've been pretty bad since the PS3 era. Like you got a few good games that they ran into the ground, and then everything else was either mediocre as fuck or terrible. So guess what?
Yeah.
And listen, that's the first piece of this fucking shit Sunday. It's the fact that Bandai does not have a good track record of making good anime games, or at least not consistently making good anime games. Then you have the track, because even Fighters has all this love and attention. But you know why you like Fighters? It's because of Art System Works. Is why you like Fighters. Isn't it because of Bandai just has the license. So
the name, yeah.
So the first part is that Bandai can't be trusted. The second part is Dragon Ball has been done so many times that there isn't a lot you can do to like get me excited about the game. And then the third part is the fucking gameplay doesn't look that interesting. It's like what you were saying before, a Frankenstein of a bunch of other Dragon Ball games with different mechanics.
Yeah, I like the. Don't get me wrong. If the battle arena system is done well enough, I can actually get down with it. That's why I liked Raging Blast 1 and 2, because I feel like those two games did the whole battle arena thing well. Tenkaichi was a rough climb. The first one, the second one got its collective shit together, and the third one was like perfected for the battle arena system. So between Tenkaichi 3, Raging Blast 1, and Raging Blast 2, I had my fill. After that, though, I didn't want to see it again. And Xenoverse 2 at least has the whole gimmick of you can make your own character. And Ultimate Tenkaichi did that first, but it did it so poorly that I didn't care. Like, it did it so badly, and that's why I almost forgot it existed. It did it so badly that I believe Xenoverse 1 came around and picked up its slack, and then Xenoverse 2 just sort of doubled down on it and got better. Now, granted, Xenoverse 2's lifespan, while it is long because of all the DLC, to me personally as a player, got boring quickly. Like, after I got done with the story mode, I pretty much checked out. I mean, there was nothing really else to do on it. Yeah, you can get the other characters and unlock a couple of new side missions, but after that, what are you really doing besides getting the new character that was released on Dragon Ball Super? Like, it was so bad to a point where I believe Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, I hate that name, came out before he actually showed up in the anime. And that was because they were promoting him. So at that point, yeah, Xenoverse 2 lost a lot of luster because it's clear, like you said, that Bandai just sort of was whoring out Dragon Ball's face for the sake of video games. And I'm like, that doesn't work if the quality of the game isn't justifying its existence. If I'm playing a video game based off an anime, then the goal should be it should be a symbiotic relationship at that point. It should make new people want to watch the anime and get interested in the anime, or at least the story of it. While old comers who know about the anime should be excited to play the video game. But when you have a game that's mediocre and an anime that's been done to death, well, what do you do? Like, what do you do? That's why Kakarot just seems like just blah to me. That's why I haven't talked about it in so long, because I feel like it's been done already.
Yeah, for me, it's just indifference now. Like, when it turns into indifference because it's like, do you still like Dragon Ball? Well, I mean, yeah. Do you like anime games? Well, yeah. And do you want to see a Dragon Ball anime fighting game? And I'm like, I mean, I'll look at it. Like, that's what it.
Right.
That's what it's like. Oh, I'll look at it, but that's all you're getting from me.
Even their DLC right now, from what I'm seeing, the pre-order DLC looks very boring.
What is the pre-order? What is
it? You get so a pre-order, the content is like a sub-quest, like a little side quest that you'll get. Then you get to unlock this training session with this character who looks like Dodoria if Dodoria was a female.
Oh, that like, girl they keep showing in the
Banyu.
So another. So another.
And then after that, also you get a cooking item. You get like a specific meal that increases your attack and HP.
So we're doing another one of those stupid ass. Let's create a character for the game that will never get like used again. Essentially, pretty much here's the intro. 21.
Well, with 21, I think it at least was done a little bit better. 21, not only did they worked hard to make 21 a pretty good character fighting wise. She's top tier. She's not like the highest tier, but she is top tier. So she's pretty balanced. They gave her a lot of cool stuff, and her role in the story, obviously, she has her own arc. So at least she's more justifiable. This just looks like they, by the way, had another Frieza soldier. And I'm like, who cares?
Hey man, you tell me you didn't care about those Frieza soldiers that were in the Broly movie? Come on, it's the same premise.
Chi-Lai and Limo.
Yeah, I'm glad you remember the names because I don't.
I watched the movie more than once.
Of course you did.
Chi-Lai and Limo, they exist. I feel like they were literally only made to so that the movie can go, see, look, Broly has a heart. I'm just like, whatever. Okay. But back to Kakarot. I don't know. The only thing you want to know what's bad? The only thing I'm really looking forward to is like how they're going to handle the non-story stuff. The stuff that wasn't in the original story, because then at least it gives me something new to look at.
You mean filler?
Yes.
Yeah, but see,
yes.
You know what my problem with that is, though?
Sadly, yes. That's what I'm looking forward to.
But you know my problem with that is, right?
What?
I can just look that up online. I don't need to fucking buy it.
You can look at the cutscenes. Yes, you can. You definitely could.
I wouldn't want to play it. Well, I guess that was what we should really get down to. Do you plan to buy it?
I think I told you this once before. I said I'm not even planning on doing a day one buy of this.
You shouldn't buy it at all.
If I get it, I was gonna say if I get it, it's probably gonna be at a price drop though, just to see what it's about.
I'll look up.
But at that point, yeah, I know what you're saying. At that point, you can watch the cutscenes or you can rent the game. I have a slight collection of the games, so I want to at least buy it at a lower price than what they're giving me. I'm not gonna pay full price for this game because I don't think this game is deserving.
What you're saying is your fandom's gonna screw you again.
I wouldn't even necessarily say that, because if I can buy it like at a lower price or used, then I'm not necessarily getting it. I'm not paying an entire $60 for this.
But you're paying some money, and that's already too much.
Right. Okay. So you're saying you're not buying it, period.
Oh hell no.
Right.
The last Dragon Ball game I bought was Fighters, and the game before that was Tenkaichi 3 probably.
Wow, that's a lot of time.
Yeah. I said fuck all that other shit.
I get it. I bought Raging Blast thinking Raging Blast was just Tenkaichi 3 on Xbox 360, and it kind of still is, but it did some things that were a little bit better, and I respect it for that. One thing, I do have my regrets, though. I did buy Ultimate Tenkaichi. I didn't like it. I immediately traded that one back. That's how bad that was. Yeah, there have been some crap ones. Xenoverse. Oh, Battle of Z. We completely forgot about it.
What the fuck is Battle of Z?
Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z was like the last Dragon Ball Z game to come out on Xbox 360.
Now I gotta Google it because I don't fucking remember that.
You'll remember it when you see it. It came out the same time as Battle of Gods. Hence why the title's called Battle of Z.
What the fuck is this? Oh.
Okay, so what it was, I can get briefly into it. What it was that each character in the game, it promoted a 4v4 style from the same area at once. So it was a 4 battle arena. It promoted team play. And each character fought in their own different way. Goku was mostly a physical attacker. Vegeta shot energy blast. Some characters would actually heal other characters. Some characters were good for defense, stuff like that. So they were more or less relegated to one move because they were meant to be put in a team of 3 other people. It sucks. It was bad.
Yeah,
wasn't good.
Looks pretty bad.
And the big And the big catcher for that was that you get to use Super Saiyan God Goku and Beerus, because those characters, Battle of God, had just come out.
I don't even
So
remember this
essentially,
game.
yeah, no one does. I remember it, unfortunately. I think I still have it. I remember it, unfortunately.
Is this a
I remember
PlayStation 4 game?
It's an Xbox. No, it's Xbox 360, PlayStation 3.
It came out 2014.
Yeah, it's in Vita. It's in Vita too.
This was a 2014 game.
That's correct.
What?
Yes.
The PlayStation 4 was already out for at least a few months.
And for those of you, and for those of you guys who want context, I'm gonna put the picture up too. Yeah, it was on the Vita too, but the Vita.
I like how that's the running. I like how that's the running joke.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it was on the Vita too, but to be fair, this game, I didn't need to exist. Oh, God. I think that follows the line of what you're talking about, though. That brings up the point of what you're trying to say, is that just putting Dragon Ball Z in its name does not mean it's gonna sell. I thought they would have learned their lesson by this when they made Dragon Ball Z Sagas way back in the day for Xbox, PlayStation 2, and GameCube, but they didn't.
Yeah, we weren't.
Because that game was awful. That game was awful. It seems to me like for every 1 or 2 good Dragon Ball Z games, they got to pop out at least 4 bad ones.
Which tells me half the time it's not fucking worth it. Especially because the good game is usually like not that good. It's just better than what we've been getting.
I feel like the only reason right now that Kakarot exists is because they needed to try to get people to play something other than fighters. But like, the problem with that is that you're trying to get more people to. I see what they're doing, because a lot of people who play fighters, some people don't even play Dragon Ball Z or watch Dragon Ball Z. Some of the people who play fighters are just fan of Arc System games, Blaze Blue Cross Tag, Guilty Gear, etc., etc. So they ended up playing Dragon Ball Fighters, and I guess the idea is, oh, if you liked fighters, then you should like our other Dragon Ball games that we have. But they knew Xenoverse wasn't going to work out, because if you buy Xenoverse, that means you also have to buy the hundreds of DLC that come with it. Easily over $200, maybe $300 worth of DLC, and I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, almost $200. More than that if you're in Japan.
Yeah, this is why I'm only talking about this shit, yo.
I mean, I get it. Yeah, I get it. It's just, I think that's one of the reasons I brought you on, Terrell, is because I knew I wouldn't be able to talk about this without just pausing for really long amounts of time, trying to get thoughts together, because I didn't care. I didn't care about this game. I really didn't. The only thing that caught my interest, oddly enough, was the little stuff like Chi-Chi cooking. I think that's nice. Vegeta being able to travel around in the Bad Man shirt. But they did that in Legacy of Goku 2 already, and I'm just like, other games did better. And to answer your question again, because now that I've really taken some time to think about it, if I buy this game, it's probably going to be some years after it's been out, just to see what happened.
I want to see reviews. That's my thing.
Reviews, yeah. See some reviews maybe, because that's the best way to come at this one. Fighters at least had the grounds of, if you looked at it, you knew that some things were going to be good, because, like you said before, Arc System. And Arc System works on their shit.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm sick of it, man.
Yeah, this is the most...
Bandai, get your shit together.
I feel like it's the most corporate Dragon Ball game to come out.
I feel like that's the one thing this really should have turned into. Bandai, get your fucking shit together.
Yeah. We were supposed to talk about the game. We ended up talking about get your shit together.
Because it's the same shit. It's always the same shit. No matter what generation we've been in, at least these last 2, we can't get a good, consistent fucking game from these assholes for the fans of anime. I like my anime games, damn it. I'm sad to see Bandai doesn't like their anime games. Or just get different developers. Don't have Arc System Works, because that Kill la Kill game that came out, that was not a good game, and that was Arc System Works. They're not.
I didn't even know they had a Kill la Kill game until like last week.
Last week, really?
The only reason I know about it is because there's a guy who comes on and talks about anime games sometimes on his YouTube channel. I think his name's Globku. Yeah. And he talked about the Kill. I watched a video on my recommended list about the Kill la Kill game. I'm like, wait, hold up a second. The Kill la Kill game came out?
It's not good at all. At all.
I didn't expect it either because Kill la Kill ended some time ago.
Kill la Kill is relatively short, and there aren't enough characters to make like a really fleshed out fighting game. Like,
so do you think Kill la Kill could have been better as a different genre?
Kill la Kill. You also gotta understand, I don't like Kill la Kill to begin with. So
well, okay. Well, let me branch out the question a little bit better. Do you think that all of these games could be better if they actually focused primarily on the genre in which the show takes place? They all don't need to be battle arena fighters, right?
My thing is, if you're gonna make these games, I think they're doing too many of them in-house, and that's why they all end up being the same. I'm actually confused why the fuck the Kill la Kill one ended up being an arena fighter, because it wasn't even fucking Bandai who did that. It was Arc System Works. So why did Arc System Works essentially make another fucking like battle arena fighter? And to be fair, it's not like it's a genre that wouldn't work for like some of these titles. Actually, Kill la Kill would probably be, do I want to say the closest? I don't know what I would say. Kill la Kill is kind of closer enough to justify it. But the problem is, that's like their go-to genre. Their go-to genre is to make an arena fighter and then it not even be visually interesting. Like, I'm actually going back and looking at the Kill la Kill footage. The Kill la Kill footage at least had the advantage of being like visually different. Like, it looks different. Like, I can enjoy it at least for that. But like, gameplay wise, Bandai needs to outsource more of these games, or just focus on one or two of them. You always gotta come out with, think about it. You got Kakarot, you got the Fairy Tail game. What the fuck was the other one I'm missing? There's another one. Pirate Warriors 3. Pirate Warriors 4. And then I think there's a Sword. Well, I don't think they're. Well, they might be doing Sword Art Online. Do they do the Sword Art Online games? I don't even know.
I can't remember. I played one Sword Art Online game and I hated it for life. It pissed me off.
Was it because you got trapped in the game?
I can't even remember what the name of the game was, but it was awful.
Was it something Bullet? It might have been.
Hold on. I'll look it up. Hold on one second.
I'm just trying to figure out.
It was for PS4.
I'm trying to figure out if Sword Art Online even, is that another one of those games that like another one of those IPs that Bandai has the rights to?
Oh yes, yeah, they do. They do, because the minute I typed it in Google, it said Bandai Namco. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, they do. And I think I remember the name. It was
I see Hollow Realization.
Oh, that one. Oh my god. That realization was bad. I was so pissed.
Was it? I don't even know what I didn't even look up footage for that game. I didn't even realize it was that bad. Let me see.
Oh no! I think it might be a song. It's based off the Eltham series.
What's it called?
Song. They made a bunch.
Wait, you cut out. I didn't hear the actual title.
Lost Song, I'm sorry.
Oh, there we go.
They made a bunch of Sword Art Online games. The problem is nobody's heard of them, probably because they're bad.
No, it's because they're actually handled like MMOs. Like, I'm looking at Hollow Realization. Hollow Realization is an MMO, it looks like.
Yeah.
Look. But see, but at least that, to me, that's more faithful to what the series is. Which actually goes back to your point. Certain genres work for certain animes work better in certain genres. Sword Art Online is essentially an anime based on RPG, so it makes sense why you would put Sword Art Online as an RPG. Not fucking One Piece, not fucking Naruto, not fucking Dragon Ball. Those are never been RPG series. And they don't need to be. But they don't know how to make like an adventure game. They honestly just need to make like original story arcs.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if you made this game, Dragon Ball, Kakarot, or whatever, and you gave it an original RPG of its own and just put it in a generic timeline period, I would have been all on board for that.
You know why they'll never do it though, right?
Because they gotta advertise the freaking anime. I don't know.
Well, no, well it's that, and also it's like, well, what gets people excited? Oh, Goku turning Super Saiyan for the first time. Fucking Vegeta sacrificing himself to kill Majin Buu, even though it doesn't work.
Well, what you do when that happens is make it like have Goku go to if you're gonna make an RPG where the characters travel anyway, have Goku go to, I don't know, Capsule Corp, and Bulma's like, I got this machine that takes certain materials and can make discs where you can watch memories of our past battles and adventures or whatever. And then if Goku collects enough CDs or whatever, you can actually watch the Goku cutscene of Frieza.
No.
Just saying, you could do that.
Yeah,
and you don't have to abuse the freaking story.
Yeah, but see, that sounds smart. How dare you? How dare you? You out here trying to be educated?
Yeah, I guess because we should be rounding down. It's really late and we're coming up to Terrell. Because I know you're gonna do a really good job of closing out. Just close it out. Close it out.
Final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts. Just
Bandai,
say what needs to be said.
Bandai, just get your fucking shit together. I'm tired. I'm tired of it. Like every time an anime game, you've made me indifferent to anime games. And let me explain that real quick for those who don't understand. There's a difference between anime games and like games based on anime. So maybe that's what I really should be saying. The games that are based on animes or mangas, stop fucking with them. Because you're not good. You're not consistent with it. So either outsource it to other developers to make these games or give them longer breaks and focus on like one or two of them. Listen, I like Dragon Ball Z enough to buy games for it. I don't want to buy the same fucking game that I just played like 2 years ago. Which is literally what you have me doing. You have me, because look, you can sit there and tell me Kakarot's a brand new title with these brand new mechanics, and it might have a couple of brand new things. Oh look, when I punch a guy 16 times and I see him go into a break animation, that's a unique gameplay style? Fuck no. Like you've oversaturated the market, which is kind of insane to me. Like think about it, Kakarot would be the third game.
I was literally just about to say Kakarot is basically Xenoverse 3.
Well, I was going to say I wasn't even going to say that, but that's a good point too. I was going to say it's the third ongoing Dragon Ball game. If you still think, like, we don't know if Xenoverse 2 is officially done yet, so you still have, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta came out for fighters. You got fucking Xenoverse 2 that may or may not be done yet. And then this game. That's 3 Dragon Ball titles that are still going on right now. In some way, shape, form, or fashion. And then you have the fucking nerve to sit there and talk about like, oh, well, we're going to put out, at least we're giving you guys like another One Piece title. Or, you know what I forgot about, Tyrone? Shinobi Striker.
I forgot all about that game.
That piece of shit.
They call it Naruto and Boruto Shinobi Strikers or something.
I don't give a fuck what they call it. I'm calling it Naruto because Boruto is dead to me, alright?
That's true. Yeah.
It's just, but like the point I'm making is like that's another fucking thing. Stop with it, like.
If anything, if you can make a game, if they can make games based off of other anime series and not focus so much on the primary ones, one, we don't get burned out on the primary ones, like Naruto and Dragon Ball and the others. And two, it can promote the anime so that people want to buy more games of those.
And see, Bandai will be smart enough to do that, but they'll only do it like once. Like we got Black Clover's Knights Quartet, which nowadays is a free to play game. That's how bad that shit performed. They put it out for $60, and then within like the year, it became a free to play game. Then you have One Justice, which is just dead. It's just a dead fucking title that no one talks about anymore. And I'm like,
I didn't think One Punch Man needed a game to begin with.
Not really, and considering how lackluster season 2 was for the anime, I don't know. The hype for that series wasn't even high enough to justify it. But my point is just stop. Like, think this shit out. I understand it's about the money and you got the license. So you know what it might be? It might be because in order to keep the license, they have to put out games.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
and they knew since everybody already bought fighters, we need new money, new revenue.
There's just gotta be a better way, yo.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
I agree.
Go ahead.
So basically, just pretty much drawn from what you say, like just popping out a Dragon Ball Z game to me doesn't automatically get my attention. That's one of the reasons why I didn't talk about this game for so long. I didn't make any prediction videos on this. Because nothing about it interests me. Everything that I saw in Dragon Ball Kakarot, I feel like was already done to death. Oh, you can only really use Goku, Trunks, Vegeta, Piccolo, and like the rest of the fighters are support characters. So that means Krillin, Yamcha, Tien. Okay, every Dragon Ball game did that. I'm sorry. Like, every game that primarily focused on them RPG-wise, because Dragon Ball's had some RPGs, like a couple of them. So I've seen that already. What else you got? Well, you can get food in order to gain health and attack power. Okay, Attack of the Saiyans did that already, so I'm not impressed by that either. Well, you can also explore the world in which, between the gaps, between the sagas. Okay, again, Attack of Saiyans, Legacy of Goku 2, and Blue's Fury did that. These are Game Boy and DS games I'm saying that did this already. What else do you have for me? Well, you can fly around the world. Budokai 3 did that already. Like this game feels like it's trying so hard to be something, and it just, like, it's the ending result of what happens when Bandai just drops all of their ideas on the table and goes, well, fuck it. And that's lazy to me. The title's lazy, the cover's lazy, everything about this looks lazy. So if you don't give a damn, like you said before, why should I give a damn? Why should I even put in the effort? I'm not gonna really go out of my way to talk about it or buy it. Because
do you want to know something really funny I just saw? And you're not gonna fucking believe this, bro. I promise you.
What?
I promise you. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
They apparently announced there's gonna be a My Hero Academia One Justice 2.
Are you fucking kidding me? One Justice just came the fuck out, didn't it?
Like maybe a year or two ago. Oh shit!
This is exactly what we're talking about. First of all, I didn't even know One Justice. Like, I knew One Justice was coming out. I didn't know the exact due date because part of me didn't care.
Let's see.
And then
let me make sure. It was like last year, I want to say.
And then when it did come out, I didn't buy it because I didn't see it in stores because it wasn't advertised. And the reason it wasn't advertised was because it wasn't good enough to be advertised.
Yeah, it came out April of last year.
Yeah, didn't know. Didn't even know. I knew it came out last year, just didn't know when. And I think my, John, JPR.
Yeah, of course.
He got mad at One Justice because it doesn't have Mina in it.
Oh, Mineta?
Yeah, Great Boy.
Yeah, Mineta, yeah.
But it does have what's the female that can make the weapons? Momo?
Yeah, Momo.
Yeah, it's got her in it. And it's funny because it's clear that One Justice was basically just popping out the popular characters.
But you know the irony with this? You wanna know why I bet you this is happening? And even the article mentions it. You wanna know what it was?
What?
The anime starts back up next, I think
October.
Next week.
Yeah, it starts back up in October.
So
I think I'm gonna change this video. It's still gonna be primarily Dragon Ball Kakarot because that's what we're talking about. But I think this is gonna be called Bandai Namco Rant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just call it that.
Fuck you, Bandai.
I'm so originally I was supposed to talk about Kakarot, but
I'm tired of you wasting my money and time with these fucking. I haven't bought a Bandai anime game since Power Warriors 3, and I bought that on the Switch, and I probably didn't need to do that. You're not gonna get me with this One Justice shit. This is what I had to. I didn't buy One Justice 1 either way.
I didn't buy it. Yeah,
like
because again, right? Remember, I didn't know it came out.
I have inherent distrust in you as a company, and I'm surprised not enough anime fans are like, "Yo, you gotta stop fucking with our money. Stop. This is like to you. You can put these titles out and get Japanese fans to play half of it. And that's the other thing. What pisses me off is you localize a bunch of these titles, and they fucking suck.
Right.
Like you'll localize it and then tell us, oh, by the way, we're coming out with a sequel. You dickheads.
There's only one time where I feel like persistence in something that Bandai Namco did led to success, and that was with Budokai. Because Budokai 1, looking back at it, isn't that good, but it was the best we had at the time. Then Budokai 2 came in and improved a couple of things, but it wasn't great. It still had its fair share of problems. Budokai 3 was when they finally got their collective shit together, and even to this day, I could probably enjoy the game. It's not the greatest, but I can enjoy it. But that's because they put work into it. I don't believe in Bandai Namco to put in work anymore. I feel like what they do is if they slap a sequel onto something, it's because the original one is old.
See, and I guess that's what pisses me off though.
Yeah.
Because I think, how do I put this? You can do. I don't have an issue with you putting out like sequels. Like I don't care if you do.
Yeah.
Like it's not even like even the One Justice thing, even the My Hero One Justice thing. Having a sequel to that game isn't a bad thing. But when it's literally just the same game, because that's my problem. The sequels are like half-assed. Like you give me this half-assed sequel that has more characters and like very slightly different. Because remember, I don't know how much you remember from One Justice. One Justice had this really ridiculous mechanic where you could run off walls.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that in.
And I was like, what the fuck is the point of that?
It looked awkward.
It also doesn't make sense. The game, like when Naruto did it in Storm, that was cool as shit. And why was it cool? Because
relevance to the story.
They did it in the show all the time. Yeah. You see them walk up trees and on water and shit. That's a cool fucking mechanic. My Hero has none of that.
Yeah, that it's.
You got characters who don't even do that, who can't even like jump that high. But you got motherfuckers running on wall. Man, get the fuck out.
It looked really awkward. And to go back to Bleach, because I remember we talked about it too. Shattered Blade was the worst fucking game I played in my life.
I'm looking that up because I forgot what it looks like.
To fight, you had to wiggle your Wii remote because it was your sword. Every character had a sword.
I didn't really hate that. To be fair, I didn't hate that.
I didn't.
But that's also because I was very forgiving to the Wii. Well, let me rephrase that. When it came to heavy motion control games, and for Bleach, this is literally all you had. Like if you were an American Bleach fan, this is it. This was the first.
Yeah, that was literally it.
That was the first Bleach game we ever got in the States, I think.
I played a DS game, but that was it's weird. It was a tactics game. It was called Third Phantom.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, and I like the idea it played around with, but again, it's a tactics game. You really have to have patience for it. But I do like the idea that you had your original OC character.
I will say, I see how they did it. They gave you a stamina bar. Bleach had a stamina bar, and so you couldn't just like you could only spam it for a certain amount of time, and the ability wasn't like automatically like you won the match. Yeah. Like there was like I don't know, man. Like
it just
refine if you're gonna do this. Like refine the fighting and allow it to be more interesting. And you know why? In One Justice, the other problem is that One Justice, also being another battle arena fighter, makes it super easy for people to be like, for the developers to be like, well, we'll just reuse the engine and shit, and all we're gonna do is add a bunch of new characters, is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm just
So
like,
I,
it's lazy.
yeah, I was just about to close it out with that. So I guess if you can pull anything from this discussion, just if you're a consumer, if you like anime and you also play video games,
Don't support this bullshit.
don't just because something has your favorite anime in it or is being represented, try to check reviews first, or wait to see who Bandai is partnering up with if they partner up with someone. Try to be self-aware. I think before you buy, don't
Stay
just go out
informed.
and buy. Yeah, don't just go out and buy anything because it has the name on it. Because at that point, you're doing exactly what Namco Bandai wants, and then at that point, that once they have your money, they're going to use it to spit out just the cheapest thing that they can make, or the fastest or easiest. And whenever you're doing something easy, it's never going to come out the same way as when you put legitimate work into it. I think this is a primary example of that. This is like I feel like Fighters was the result of a lot of hard work, and that's because Arc System did it. Whereas Kakarot feels like it's half-assed.
Just
It's
another
half-assed.
one. Just another one.
Yeah, it's just half-assed. It's another game to add on to the inventory. It's a stock game, if you will. So yeah, with that said, Terrell, thanks so much for joining me. Thank you for breaking down your frustrations with a company that has been doing.
I didn't realize I was this mad about it. That's what pisses me
Yeah,
off.
yeah. That's what it does. That's what a conversation does. It can bring out the true feelings that you may have about
This
something.
shit might turn. I might turn this into like a video of my own. Like,
Yeah, go for it. I mean, yeah, I could even, I'll fully support you. So yeah, but speaking of which, by the way, follow this man on Twitch. Follow him on Twitch. He has a Twitch. He also has a Twitter. Follow him on Twitter. Yeah, he's got 3 YouTube channels: Terrell Vlogs, Schizomanic, and his original channel, The Insane Game Freak. Go check them all out. We've been actually doing a lot of fun things on his channels as well. So go ahead and check him out. Thank you so much for being here, Terrell. I'm glad to have had you here. Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to talk much about this game at all, or Bandai Namco in general, if it weren't for you. So with that said, everybody, I'll see you all then, everybody. Thank you guys for checking out this video. If you liked it, give it a like, and also subscribe. See you all then. Tyrone the God 3 out.
peace, bitches.